What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm going to show you how to troubleshoot a cooling system issue that actually just happened. My temperature was going up from between 230 and 250. It's actually getting a little bit hotter than normal and it's a little concerning to me, so I want to fix it right away. What do we do in our steps in order to troubleshoot to make sure that we don't have anything else going on? Well, let me show you something. Let's say you just shut off your car. You come out here, you pop the hood, you squeeze this top radiator hose. You see how this is actually just squeezing nice? This will tell you that there's no pressure in the system. Now, the car is already cooled off, but if the car is still hot and you just shut it off and you came back here, grab like a towel, maybe a glove, try to squeeze that. If it feels more like an arm flexing, there's a lot of rebound where you can't really do this. It would be more like this. Maybe if that, it will actually tell you that there's pressure in the system. Now, if you come over here to your overflow tank, and if you took this off, let it cool down a little bit more just to protect yourself. And what you want to do is grab a towel, kind of undo it a little bit, and if you hear some pressure escaping, it means it's holding pressure. So that means your cap's good. No leaks on the ground, so I know the radiator's fine. Thermostat, which is right underneath this water neck here, connected to our water pump, which would be the other thing that possibly could be wrong. Since this is a cheap replacement, we have our 180 degree thermostat. It's going to open up and let that fluid in. Now, this might be stuck closed. Another thing to check is your coolant level. As you can see here, we're right in line. Cold fill range, there we go. This is actually completely cooled down, so that's actually perfect. When it's hot, it kind of rises up about at this seam here, but altogether there's no leaks. I'm not losing coolant. I'm just not getting it. So first things first, find your size. In this case, it's 13 millimeter bolts on the water neck that attaches to the radiator hose. What I'm going to do is remove the radiator hose, then remove the two bolts that hold the water neck together, and then I'll have access to the thermostat. So as you can see, it's kind of mucky, kind of dirty, but you can see a little bit of coolant in there. You see our thermostat in there. The radiator hose is removed. And once you have your old thermostat removed, grab your new one, kind of compare the two just in case. As you can see here, there is not really much of a difference, but if you look closely, there is kind of a difference between how tense the spring is. Ooh, that one's tight. So this one's pretty tight. I'm not sure if that's because it's stuck closed. Reinstall the way you took off. But first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe it down a little bit. It's just habit. Make it a habit, guys. Make it a habit. All right, so in terms of torque spec on those 13 millimeter bolts that are on the thermostat housing itself, the factory manual calls for 10 foot-pounds, whereas Chilton's manual calls for 21 foot-pounds. I'm going to meet somewhere in the middle and say 15, just to be on the safe side and to believe both parties. So we'll go 15 foot-pounds and then wrap this up and start it up. Now for the thermostat housing, is it going to be okay if you just snugly tighten it by hand? Yeah, sure, probably, but I just like to look into if there's a torque spec for it and then go from there, and I'd rather just do it right. If you decide to do like a hand snug thing, you're in a tight spot, I don't think it's going to hurt anything. Just be aware. Oh, thank God. Oh, that's a magical sight. All right, thermostat housing's back on. All right. Everything's back on now. Now we can start the car and see if it has a similar or same issue as before. Now we're gonna let this idle for a little while, and then we'll see where we are on temps. All right, we're about $1.77 here. We're getting close. Oh, 179. We'll just keep idling, see where we're at. Hopefully we don't go above like 208 to 215. Want to stay at or below that range, ideally, and then yeah, we'll see where we're at. All right, so we've been idling for about 15 minutes or so, and it's just trickling between 188 and 190. That's a far cry from 200 plus. So with that, it's probably like a 10-15 minute job at you're not recording video for it. Easy fix. Thermostat replaced, and it's not going a degree above 190, at least idling. And so I'll probably take a drive around. I'm 110% confident that fixed the entire issue in general, so I don't think we have to worry about anything. The big win here is that we can say that it's not the water pump. We know that it's holding pressure. And big shout out to Logan at Satera Tuning that was helping me actually troubleshoot that. When I first looked at it, I said, what is going on here? And he asked me, hey, have you been in your cooling system recently? I said, well, I swapped out the radiator for an SRT radiator, but that's about it. So as long as the system has pressure, and as long as your coolant color looks okay, you can chalk this up to, let's look at the bits and pieces, the hardware that makes it work. And the four big items is the radiator, the radiator fan, the water pump, and the thermostat. I mean, it's a very simple system. With checking all that and knowing that my radiator is fairly new, probably only like 2 years old at this point, I knew that I had to check other things. If it was the water pump, I knew that I would have to order a water pump immediately, because I'll show you what we're digging in here. I'm gonna be doing some more content for you guys, so stay tuned for that. Power, baby, you know what I'm saying? So we'll get that all sorted out. That was supposed to be kind of like a surprise that we have everything here, but you know, if I was going to order a water pump, I was going to do it now, and so when the camshaft stuff happens, you already have access to all that, so might as well just replace it while you're in there, right? As long as, you know, if it's bad, replace it. But don't fix what's not broken, guys. Don't go crazy, okay? So I know it was a simple thermostat job, guys, but you know, if this helped you, subscribe, like, do all the other bits and pieces. Yeah, we're trying to get this channel to grow because my TikTok is tanked. Instagram isn't really growing that well, and I love doing this stuff. And I know this DIY stuff and the vlog stuff I do from my phone, but also check out my field stories. I actually try to do professional, like, cinematic edits for that. The oohs and ahs. My YouTube channel is kind of a passion project of mine. Not for social media purposes, not for popularity purposes, but this is an outlet in which I can upload things that I'm most passionate about, and that's what I do. So if you like it here, stay tuned. We got more.